What's going on, guys? Happy New Year, and thank you to anyone who has supported this channel. I reached 6,000 subscribers. For whatever that's worth, it's kind of cool. Doesn't mean a ton, but it means that at least I'm progressing in a forward direction, which obviously is a nicer thing than going backwards. But I wanted to do a video today just to kind of say thank you for the 6,000 subscribers and the support and the love. And I'm hoping this year will be a lot more focused, which is not easy with the journey I'm on with my mom with dementia, but without trying to go all over the place. I'm going to definitely work on putting out more consistent videos and tutorials and actually getting out and teaching about my different drones. Right now, pardon me, I got my Mavic 3 Pro in for service, my Avata in for service after my Hawaii trip. I got my Lite Plus. I have, I'm waiting for the Mavic 4 Pro. Hopefully that will come out. I'll definitely buy the Cine version of that. I have Mini 4 Pro, Mini 2, and some other little drones. I just want to let you guys know that I am going to be a lot more mindful and a lot more productive, staying on track and not veering off too much. I do talk about my mom's journey as a caregiver. I don't know if I should do a separate channel or something for that, but it's hard because my issue is that I had this channel a long time ago. I was doing dubstep videos and all kinds of stuff as far as music was concerned, and I had really no focus or direction with the YouTube thing. I just had a channel because you could and wasn't really trying to do anything. I had zero inclination to get subscribers or to do anything. I was throwing DVDs in microwaves. I was just being silly, kind of having a platform to throw videos up on with no intention, no anything, no purpose. And this year I want to have a lot of intention and try to align with my YouTube audience and stay focused and help out and hopefully inspire, because that's really what we want to do in this drone community, is inspire, be good drone ambassadors, and be positive role models for all the kind of negativity that you get when you're flying drones. I've had my own issues. I've been assaulted while flying drones. I've had all kinds of issues while I was out flying, doing this corporate job that I recently terminated, which was a real good blessing, because that absolutely was not good for my mental health. I mean, it's good to have stability, but at the same time, I needed to kind of get back to my roots of freelancing and really working hard. I got a new setup. So this setup, I have a Mini 4 Pro with 64 gigs of memory, 2 terabyte hard drive, the 10 gigabyte Ethernet. And I recently just bought because, and this is something I'm not super great at, I'm a decent editor, I'm decent with color, so I can color grade relatively well because of my knowledge in photography and the whole color theory side. So I'm good at seeing color. I don't necessarily know the science, but I know how to get there, and I know what looks good, usually. So I have that in my arsenal as a longtime photographer and retoucher. So again, what I kind of have a question with is I was working on a project for YouTube, like a relaxation kind of meditative video, and I was taking all my footage from like a Sony FX30, Mavic 3 Pro, Mavic 3 Pro Cine, Z6 III, and some random other stuff, but that was the primary 10-bit kind of workflow. And a 40-minute video with my 2 terabyte hard drive or internal drive, what I ran into is I ran out of space on my main hard drive. So apparently the project for Final Cut Pro was almost like 1.7 terabytes, which was totally crazy. So I don't know if I did something like I copied over the original media. Maybe that took a big toll on the library, making it super crazy. But it wasn't anything really intensive. I color graded it. I added some transitions, some effects, nothing really over the top. But I just can't see why or how it got to 1.7 terabytes. So that kind of freaked me out, which is why last night I pulled the trigger and ordered another Mac Mini M4 Pro with 64 gigs of RAM, but I ordered the 4 terabyte internal drive because I just don't want to have that issue. I know it's usually the fastest working off the internal memory, but on a different note, I ordered, let me get over here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll take a screenshot. I ordered an OWC 8 terabyte Express 1 M2 external SSD. So this is kind of the heat sink looking hard drive, and I had some friends that shoot red in Hawaii and some high-end video, and that's what they were using. They had a bunch of these guys. But I figure I'm gonna just keep my libraries on this and just keep that drive as a dedicated hard drive for all my video projects. The only question I have is, will I just run out of space with that because I'm gonna have 1.5 terabyte projects, or is it just, I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe you guys could help explain, because I am not really great with the video workflow. I have an idea, but I just kind of wing it and usually don't run out of space like this. But anyway, I want to just kind of get back to what this video is going to be about. I was trying to do something to say thank you and to also do a video on something. I didn't really want to fly drones because most of them are gone for service at DJI support, and it's not super pretty out and cold out. So I figured I would finally, again, I returned this and I actually repurchased it. It was actually on sale for $400, so I purchased it again to give it another try. The DaVinci Resolve Micro Color Panel. So this guy right here, that's a thumbnail maybe, is something that I wanted to use originally because I edit so much on my iPad Pro. So this is an M4 iPad Pro, 2 terabyte, Apple Pencil, DaVinci Resolve. Final Cut Pro sucks on this thing, but LumaFusion is an option, and also DaVinci Resolve just kicks ass. So with the right LUTs and plugins and motion VFX and all kinds of stuff like that, you can really have a workhorse with this. But to me, using this with this guy sucked. I didn't want to have the nice compact, platform or profile or whatever you want to say, usually sitting on the couch, laying in bed, doing something really comfortable, and then having this that I had to connect to color grade, when I could completely color grade fine for clients, for work, for $3,000, $5,000 jobs and more on just this. So that was kind of a dilemma too. Like, do I just work on this and make this work, or do I spend money like I did on a studio display with the up and down, which was another $400, the mini, which was obviously not super inexpensive, that's roughly $3,000. So then another hard drive just for the editing. So you're basically at $6,000, or you have this thing, which is super nice and already paid for. And this is paid for too, fortunately. But regardless, less is more. And I hate knowing that I'm kind of getting heavier into technology and what I'm doing, but it's the only way to progress too. Like, I feel better and more confident with my drone flying abilities, and I've been getting bigger jobs and more consistent work, and I'm just producing content that I think is higher quality. So a lot of the stuff that I shot 4 years ago, I look back and it doesn't look great at all, whether it's flying skills or whatever it may be. I know what I'm doing more so now, so this is the time that I really want to flex and try to come out strong and swinging in 2025, not just for YouTube, but for work and for actually paying bills and keeping busy. But with no further ado, we got the micro color panel, and this I want to try out with my Mac Mini. So this is a whole other experience using this with the computer as opposed to with the iPad Pro. I didn't like the fact that the iPad had to come out of the Smart Folio and put it in there, and it just kind of got in the way of my workflow. It just felt goofy and not necessary for me. So, but for $400, why not give it a go? My issue is I use a Wacom tablet, and this thing is pretty much everything I do. I navigate, I barely use my mouse. I use this with my stylus, with the little pen for 90% of everything. Scrolling, viewing the web, retouching, editing, color grading, whatever, I use the pen. So now, in order to fit this guy in the mix, I gotta somehow put this away or put it to the side, and I don't know, we'll see what happens. So let's open this thing. So here we go, not really an unboxing video. We got this little whatever info user guide, quick start guide, and then we got the color panel, which I've used, and I kind of did a video about it briefly. It was kind of cool. It's a different, more organic workflow, which I like, but at the same time, as I said, it just kind of took away from what I really enjoy so much with my iPad Pro was the flexibility and the freedom. And now I have this thing that I kind of have to go to in order to color grade. When in theory, as I said, I don't need it to color grade. I can easily do it. It's just a different workflow and a different experience. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. And I haven't even connected it. I got this before I went to Hawaii, and I was going to take it with me and mess around with it there with my iPad Pro, but I ended up not. I figured, you know, have fun and enjoy. So let's go ahead and take this guy out. We have, boom. So kind of feels, you know, a little plasticky. I didn't like this area at all for the iPad. It's kind of like an ABS type plastic. I wish it was rubber or something that had a nicer, grippier feel, but it doesn't. And you do have to take the iPad physically out of the case in order to use it. And I just don't enjoy that. That's a $2,500 iPad Pro. And I just feel better with that thing in its case at all times. So we got the little roller balls for lift and gain, and I kind of have to refamiliarize myself with this. But let's go ahead and see if we can turn it on and connect it. And I don't even know how we do that. But so this is going to be essentially what I need to do, I guess. I'm going to have to keep my stylus off to the side and keep this thing in front of my keyboard. So now I have the keyboard. So it's a different workflow. So let's go ahead and get this connected in theory. And I have a wide monitor that I got from my old job that they gave me when I left or whatever. They didn't want it back. So this is kind of like for palettes and scopes and whatever. I have Wacom Intuos Pro medium tablet that I use on the daily, which is why this thing kind of freaks me out because it's going to take up space. But with that being said, maybe it will help out my color grading and take it to another level because I'll have this organic kind of flow and feel. And you can copy paste and just kind of go frame to frame. I don't like how some of the knobs aren't illuminated, but whatever. There's little nitpicky things. I'm not going to get that much into it, but let's go ahead and connect it and see how it feels. So we got the cable right here, which is essentially a USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm sure I have one lying around. I have way too many hard drives mounted right now, so that's a whole other mess. Because I had one of my main RAIDs crash on me, and now I got stuff scattered all over, and I need to reorganize. So there's always something, and it kind of is super stressful having so much content and footage coming your way, and then having to organize it, and you never want to get rid of stuff because you never know when you're going to need it. But regardless, I digress. So let's go ahead and get this thing plugged in. Where maybe I can plug it into the studio display. So I'm going to take this guy. So it's basically color panel, USB-C to USB-C cable, the quick start guide, and that's essentially it in the box. So I'm going to plug this USB-C into the back of my studio display, which is why I went with the studio display, because it does have just that whole Apple feel. It's really nice. I like the fact that it raises and lowers because to me, the standard tilt only wasn't high enough. So it's nice just to push it up an inch or two and be done with it. Yeah, it cost another $400, but you get what you pay for. And at the end of the day, a job ideally will pay for a studio display. So let's go ahead and connect this guy. So I'm going to plug this guy in to the panel, and I don't even know if you need to keep it plugged in all the time or how that works. With the iPad Pro, it's connected via Bluetooth, and I would imagine you can do the same thing here. So let's see what it says. Charging the DaVinci Resolve Micro Panel. Connecting the DaVinci Resolve Micro Color Panel via USB-C to your Mac or PC. iPad will charge the unit's internal battery, allowing it to be used wirelessly via Bluetooth. So there you go. The quick start guide, actually read them. They do help, and they do actually explain most of the times what you need to know. So let's see. We'll go into, I can start a screen recording with ScreenFlow over here, and we'll go and check and see if it really is that simple. This is kind of a makeshift little setup for now. I'm staying with a friend for a little bit, and this is it. So I like the setup. I bought the table off of Amazon. It was like $150. Couldn't beat that. Really nice, stable enough. I can put the link in the description below. What else? Mac Mini goes without saying. Tons of people have done stuff on it. It is super solid, and I did have the 24 gigabyte of memory first, and I would definitely say go with more memory. It seems really a lot quicker and a lot smoother. So personally, without a doubt, go to 64 and don't even think about it. Max it out and kind of call it a day. But that's me. So we're going to go into system preferences.
You are currently caller number 4, waiting to speak with a representative. Thank you for your patience.
So I'm on hold with Blackmagic support, and I'm going to see what they say, because I just don't want to fart around too much trying to figure this out when it should be relatively straightforward. And apparently there's something I'm missing, and I don't know what that is. And as you see, it's not as if I'm not reading the instructions. It says connecting to your computer via USB-C. It says basically connect it directly to a USB-C, and the most reliable way to your Mac computer, blah, blah, blah. Simply connect the DaVinci Resolve microcolor panel to your computer's USB-C Type-C port using the C cable included. No additional configuration is required. The microcolor panel will show up automatically in DaVinci Resolve along with the DaVinci control panel setup applications ready to use, which that did not happen. So that's some bullshit.
Blackmagic Design Technical Support. This is Brett speaking. Before we begin, may I have your last name, please?
I've been in touch before, but not regarding this. I just bought a micro color panel, and I got a Mac Mini that I'm trying to connect it to. I was actually doing a YouTube video on how to use it, but can't get the thing to connect, and that just kind of put a blip in my video. So anyway.
Okay, well, how are you trying to connect it right now? Over USB or Bluetooth?
No, USB, ideally. And I didn't even know about the DaVinci control panel setup, and I went in there. It says it has 15% battery. It says it's version 2.2 software.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the current one.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds all fine. I'm going to grab my microcolor panel real quick here.
And then I open it up. And
so, I mean, it sounds like it's connecting if it's showing up in the control software, but you're not able to use it inside of Resolve?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
1 second here. Well, so I mean, it sounds like, it is already connected if it is showing up inside of the control panel setup, but
It's just not communicating with DaVinci for some reason.
Yeah, so give me just 1 second here, because I actually do have a microcolor panel here in my home office, so let me just hook it up.
I got DaVinci Resolve Studio 19.1.2.
Okay.
I'm in the color page, which is probably where you would need to be, because I used it once before for my iPad and I returned it and I actually repurchased it for my desktop.
Okay,
So
worth noting here, I did get a pop-up notification from macOS asking if I want to allow my device, or my device being the control panel, to connect to the computer.
So where would you actually...
I didn't have to click on allow as soon as I started Resolve, but as soon as I did that, then the buttons lit up.
So where did you actually do that? Where is that in the...
That was just like the second I plugged the microcolor panel into my computer via USB, the macOS notification came up and asked me if I wanted to allow the device to connect.
Does it matter if it's plugged into like my studio display? I tried it in my Mac Mini too.
What's plugged into your studio display?
The USB-C to my micro panel.
Connected to the microcolor panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be okay. Again, if it's showing up in control panel setup, that should be fine. Do you have Resolve open still?
Yep.
Okay, so go into Preferences. You'll want to click up on the menu bar where it says DaVinci Resolve, and then click on Preferences.
Okay.
All right, and then under the System section here, look for Control Panels on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Go ahead and click on that. And then if you look under the Color Grading panel, what is it set to under Select this panel for grading?
Here, give me 1 second. It's set to none.
Okay. Go ahead and click on that. And then from that drop-down menu, go ahead and select DaVinci Resolve Micro Color Panel. Then go ahead and press Save.
Okay, then, oh, there we go. So that was the secret handshake. Now, in the quick start guide, just so you're aware, it doesn't say that. It says, no additional configuration is required. The micro color panel will show up automatically in DaVinci Resolve along with the DaVinci Resolve color panel setup applications ready for use.
Yep, no, I've been told that as well. I did make a report that when I actually got this panel, I did not automatically connect. I had to manually select it. I'm going to go ahead and pass it along again here because, if you're running into the same thing I did 6 months ago, I feel like it's a human behavior at this point. But in any case, it sounds like you're up and running there, Anthony. So is there anything else I can help you with right now?
No, that's it. I appreciate it.
Cool. Of course. Well, thanks for calling. And if you have anything else, just feel free to reach back out and let us know.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony.
Okay.
You have a good one.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So apparently the quick start guide, like the support tech said, is not accurate. So just like it said, plug it in and all you need to do, but that's not all you need to do. Okay, so anyone having issues with their micro color panel being recognized on your Mac or your computer, first I would go to Applications, DaVinci Resolve, go into the DaVinci Control Panel setup, click that. If it's showing, it's being recognized by your computer. So after that, go into DaVinci Resolve, go to the upper left-hand corner, go to Preferences, under System, go to Control Panels, and mine was set to none. So you want to make sure you go down and toggle DaVinci Resolve Micro Color Panel and hit Save. And it illuminated and we're good to go. So let's pick up where we left off. So I'm not going to do too much more because that was a big kind of hiccup, but we got this thing connected. It's sitting here on my computer or by my computer, and I don't know if I love it being there, but it's not that bad. So let's go ahead and just look at some footage. So say we have something like this. So let me get rid of the nodes, give a little more space. I don't know where to toggle this thing. Where do you get more space? Maybe the clips go away. Okay, so now we have these little dials right here. So we have, if you can't see, I'll try to do a little recording. So we have this little guy, and this is gonna affect our lift. So essentially, lift, you're paying attention to your scopes and you're trying to make sure you're lifting that little area above zero. You don't want to be hanging down below zero. You want to be right above zero. So get everything kind of out of that area, maybe just like that. And then from there, my understanding is go to gain, and then gain, we're trying to keep the scopes essentially not going higher than 1023. So those are the two things I adjust first for me and kind of get it in the ballpark. Again, this is not going to be a great thing. I'll use a screen recording for that. But from there, this one is gamma, which I don't really mess with too much. It kind of brings things like almost like the midtones, opens it up a little bit. And then you have other stuff. These things are illuminated, which is nice. I got to get refamiliarized, as I said, with all of this stuff. But we have copy, we have paste. So you see that? You have copy, paste. These little knobs, if you do something, if you press it, it will reset it. So if I go and, crank it to look really dark, just press it and it will reset it. So they do have multiple functionality, and it does take some playing to kind of get used to color grading with this. So you got previous clip, next clip, so that's really nice. you can just go ahead and make an adjustment, do copy, go next frame, or not next frame, next clip, paste, blah, blah, blah. So there is a really nice workflow, and I'll do another video just on that and my real experience color grading with it, or making an attempt to color grade with it. But for now, I wanted to kind of show you just a little bit about this color panel, talk a little bit, say thank you, and really that's kind of it. Talk about my setup a little bit, say Happy New Year, say thank you for the 6,000 subscribers and the support, and that I am gonna kind of kick ass. And now I gotta edit this video and try to cut out a bunch of fat that was really kind of not necessary. But again, if you're having issues with this thing connecting, all you need to do is go into, like I said, the control panel, make sure it's being recognized by your computer, and then go into Resolve in the preferences and make sure it's selected for the tablet. So with that being said, guys, thank you. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't, and I'll get my drones back soon. I will be buying the Mavic 4 Pro once it's released. We shall see what that's going to be all about. Hopefully they have something really cool up their sleeves, like a detachable camera, I don't even know, or lens or something nice. I mean, I know they said a lot of speculation like RTK and dual op controller and blah, 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 but we shall see. For now, goodbye and aloha, and thanks, bye.